for starting late. Apologies for starting late. We are here. We are here today, another day, watching us from the United States. Welcome, China. Welcome, Cuba. Welcome, wherever you're watching us from. Welcome you to this podcast, All Things Podcast, where we discuss and deal with global matters, international matters. And currently, we are dealing with the war in Iran. And yesterday, family, we were talking about how the Roman Catholic Church fits into all this. And we spoke about the seven kings or the seven kingdoms that the Bible tells us that we're going to have seven kingdoms. And out of these seven kingdoms, the United States, it's kingdom number six, all right, or empire number six. So we are back here today to deal with that. And welcome all. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this hour with us today. So without any waste of time, yesterday there was a request that I show from the book, the Bible, that the Roman Catholic indeed infiltrated the church and changed some of the things that the original Christian church used to do or used to be. And so we're gonna prove that point today. But before that, let me first refresh our memory and tell you about the seven kings or the seven world superpowers that the Bible predicted that they should be seven world superpowers. And then after the seven world superpowers, then the coming of Jesus will take place. But before the coming of Jesus takes place, there must be that Antichrist a kingdom or Antichrist power. So we're going to be dealing with that today. So the seven kings, the first king was the kingdom of Babylon. So when I say king or kingdom, it's one and the same thing. Because a king, of course, for you to be a king, you must have a kingdom. So when I say king or kingdom, I'm referring to the one and the same thing. All right. So the first kingdom was the kingdom of Babylon. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. The first kingdom was the kingdom of Babylon, and the second kingdom was the kingdom of the Medes, the Medes and the Persians, and the third kingdom was the kingdom of Greece, led by Alexander the Great, and the fourth kingdom was the Roman Empire. This is where the Roman fits in all of this war that is taking place in Iran. This is where the Roman kingdom, the Roman Empire fits in. So for us, we really don't understand what is the role of the Roman Empire. See, the Roman Empire as a state, its power was taken, okay, when the Pope was taken into captivity. But the Roman influence was never taken because the Roman Empire, it was led by the Pope, all right? The Pope controlled both church and state. So the state power was taken from the Romans, but the church power was never taken. In other words, remember, it was the church influencing the state. The Roman Catholic Church was the one running the state. Okay, so what we see now, Israel using the United States, we perceive or we understand Israel to be the chosen people of God. Many people believe that Israel is the chosen nation, is the holy nation. So Israel claiming using that status to be the holy nation or to be the chosen people of God is using the United States to achieve its goals in Iran. So just like how the Roman Catholic Church was doing it, the Roman Catholic Church was using its power as a church to influence the state, the Roman Empire. So we are back to that square one. We are back to that way of doing things. So this is why it's important to have this context in understanding the war in Iran, understanding the war that the United States is involved with Iran. So Israel is using the United States. All right. So Israel on its own, it does not have the capacity to attack Iran. Israel on its own, it has no power or strength or military expertise to be able to attack Iran. But now, because the United States believe that Israel is the chosen nation, Israel is God's nation, Israel is the Holy Land, so the United States will never say no to what Israel wants the United States to do. All right. Remember, Trump's ticket is that he wants to make the United States a Christian nation. Says United States must go back to God. And where, according to Trump, where is God located? God is located in Israel. Okay, so you cannot say we are taking the United States back to God, but you disobey the only nation that you believe God to be to have chosen to be His mouthpiece. So whatever the United States is doing, it believes that it's God ordained because it's doing it on behalf of Israel, Israel, the chosen nation. Unknown to the United States or unknown to Trump that the Israel regime, it's not the biblical regime. Okay, it's not the biblical Israel. The biblical Israel was given Musa Gaba. Thank you, thank you. How is God located in Israel? I will explain. I will explain that. What how okay, welcome all, welcome all. Thank you all for joining us. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so that when we come back next time, you easily get notified. Now, let me answer Musa Gaba's question. How is God located in Israel? And at Not So Green, evangelicals, not all Christians. Yes, yes, not so green, evangelicals, not all Christians. So how is God located in Israel? So this is what they believe. Okay, Leyland Gale, who is God? God was created by insecure men. All right, okay. I will deal with those questions. I'll deal with those questions. So, how is God located in Israel? So they believe that they believe that they should build a temple or a sanctuary in Israel. All right, they should build a sanctuary in Israel or a temple in Israel, the last day temple. You know that in biblical times or during the times of Moses, God told the Israelites to make him a sanctuary. I think it is Exodus 25:8, and let them make me a sanctuary that I might dwell among them. So God's presence was in the sanctuary in literal Israel. There was a literal temple, and it had an outer court, a holy place, and a most holy place. And God was located, the presence of God was located in the most holy place. So they believed that they will build that sanctuary in Israel, and then building that sanctuary, it will mean what happened during the sanctuary of Moses, it's what's going to happen. So God will be like literally located in Israel. So Israel will become the headquarter of God. So that's what they believe. So every Christian will be controlled from Israel. All right. So that's why Christians today, the only desire for many Christians vacation is to go to Israel. All right. And that's why all leaders, they go to Israel and they kiss the wall, put their hands in the wall. It's because of that belief that Israel is so important to all nations. It's all important to all religions because that's where God is. You understand? So it is in that context, all right? Not that God is located in Israel. Biblically, God is in heaven. Jesus is in heaven. He's not in a place. And biblically, God's presence is everywhere. That's why you can pray in the United States. You can pray from China. You can pray from any place you are. And God hears you and God answers you. So God, biblically, is not confined to some space. Biblically, God is everywhere. You can pray to God as you're walking. You can pray to God in your bathroom. You can pray to God in your wherever you are. So you don't need to be in a specific place for you to be able to pray to God. But that is not what they believe. Who is God? God was created by insecure men. Well, God was not created by an insecure man. So you cannot create God. Gods are created, but not God. You cannot create God. Okay, not so green. The Romans built the temple of Jupiter on their temple. Then hundreds of years later, Muslims built, okay, Al-Aqsa, Moscow, and Dome of the Rock. Okay, they will kiss. Okay, the wall they kiss is actually a wall from the Roman fort. Exactly. So that is the point. And this is what we're saying yesterday, that when the Romans took over Christianity, they infiltrated Christianity and changed Christianity as it was known then. Now, what we call Christianity today, it's no longer pure Christianity according to scripture. It's Christianity according to the Roman Catholic Church. All right? It is Christianity according to the Roman Catholic Church. Let me give the background that we had yesterday. We told you yesterday that when the Roman Empire, remember, the Roman Empire was involved in the killing of Jesus Christ because the Israel of that day rejected Christ. And when they rejected Christ, what did they do? They used the state. Okay, Israel is a church. Israel used the Roman state. Okay, the Israel used the Roman state to prosecute Jesus and put him to the cross and nail him to the cross. So Israel never accepted Jesus. Israel rejected Jesus, rejected the Messiah. Okay, so Israel never accepted Jesus. To this day, Israel does not acknowledge Jesus as the Messiah, Jesus as the Lord and their Savior. All right, so the Roman Catholic Church the Romans was involved in the assassination of Jesus Christ. And when they saw Christianity taking over the entire world, Christianity became a threat to the Roman Catholic Church, to the Roman Empire. And so the Roman Empire decided that we are not going to allow the Christianity to take over the entire world. Remember, the Roman Empire was ruling or controlling the entire world. And when the Roman Empire saw Christianity taking over the entire world, Christianity was being spread all over the world. The Roman Empire saw Christianity as a threat to its rulership. All right? The Roman Empire saw Christianity as a threat. And they said, we cannot allow this Christianity to take over the whole world because our influence will be destroyed by this Christianity. And so they decided that we're gonna take control of Christianity. And they realized that the Christians had no leader. Christianity had no leader during the Roman Empire. There was no one leader of the church. Church was scattered all over the world. You only had the leaders of the church in the localities, like in Jericho, in Jerusalem, in Asia, wherever the church was. You had a leader of that church in that local area, but there was no national leader of the church. There was no global leader of the church. This is where the Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Empire, saw an opportunity to infiltrate Christianity. And when they infiltrated Christianity, then they made the Pope the leader of the church. They made the Pope the leader of Christianity. All right. And when they made the Pope the leader of Christianity, this is when they had a problem, realizing that Christians have a day of worship, which was Saturday, the Sabbath day. And then the Pope and his council, they sat down and said, look, we did not become Christians because we want to obey God. We do not become Christians because we want to be Christians. We became Christians because we wanted to control Christianity. What are we going to do? Because these Christians, they worship on Sabbath. They talk about Sabbath day. They talk about us resting, and we are not really interested in resting. What are we going to do? This is when they decided that we're going to change the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. Why change the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday? It's because in the Roman Empire, Sunday, the first day of the week, was a sacred day where they were worshiping the god of the sun, or the sun god. They were literally worshiping the sun. This is where the Pope and the council and all of them decided that we are changing. As the leader of Christianity, as the leader of this Christianity, I, the Pope, I am changing, or I, the Roman Empire, or the Roman Catholic Church, because now they are a church. The Roman Catholic Church is now changing the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. So this is when it all happened. This is when it all took place. So you heard Emperor, exactly, not so great. Emperor Constantine changed pagan Romans from Jupiter to Jesus. Exactly. It is the Emperor Constantine that changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. I'm so happy, not so green. You are helping me today. You are helping me today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, not so green. Exactly. So what the emperors then did, they changed everything. They're all pagan things. They changed it into Christianity. They're pagan gods, pagan idols. They gave them Christian names because now they were transitioning from being pagan Rome into papal Rome. All right. So they moved from being a pagan Roman Empire into being a Christian or papal Rome. So this is where the changes of many things happened. And this is where the point I'm bringing today, that this is exactly what Israel is doing. So when the Roman Catholic Church changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday, true Christians refused to change the day of worship because they said, where does the Pope get authority to change the day of worship? Because the Bible is inspired by God. We cannot allow the Pope, a man, to change God's day of worship. And not only day, a holy day. So Christians refused, true Christians, devout Christians, refused the change by the Pope, by the Roman Catholic Church. As a result of them refusing, they were put in prison, they were hunted, they were persecuted, they were prosecuted. You understand? They were put in prisons, put in jail, killed, their property taken, their business taken. You understand? So they were not able to buy, they were not able to sell, they were not able to do anything until they accept Sunday as the day of worship. And many Christians, because of hunger, because of fear for their life, fear of death, losing their businesses, losing their houses, losing everything, they compromised and gave in to Sunday. Okay, DJ, that is not true. This created fake story, brother. Okay, it's fine. Go to history, DJ. Go to history, DJ. History has no blank pages. He also introduced baptism of infants and by sprinkling. Yes, Bernard Colley, he introduced infant baptism. It's not biblical. It's a Roman Catholic making. Okay, Maiden Perry. All has been changed. Exactly, all has been changed. Robert, didn't know that. Yes, Robert, you didn't know that. That is history. That is history. Even in the Roman Catholics' writings, you will find what I'm talking about. It's not something that is hidden. It's there in the open. Okay, Bernard Colley, they were persecuted. Indeed, they were persecuted. All right, they were persecuted. So what we're talking about, it's not you can go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia will tell you. Just say, Wikipedia, how many Christians did the Roman Catholic Church kill? The numbers will come there. Oh, over 100 million people were killed by the Roman Catholic Church. These Christians, they refused to worship on Sunday, and they were killed, they were butchered, they were martyred, massacred, a lot of them, by the Roman Catholic Church. So the Roman Catholic Church was controlling the state because the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, was also the leader of the empire. So you had both church and state under the control of one man. All right, both church and state was under the control of one man. So the war in Iran, Israel is regarded as the church. All right, you may not know this, but many evangelicals, they regard the state of Israel as the church, or the true church, or the true people of God. So they regard the Jews in Israel as the church, the true church. And they don't care really whether these Jews believe in God or they don't believe in God. They regard the Jews as God's chosen people. And we know God's chosen people is the church. Now, you have this so-called God's chosen nation or God's chosen people, Israel, controlling the United States, just like the Roman Catholic Church controlled the Roman Empire. So this is the same script again. It's the same script. And because the Roman Catholic Church was using the state, was controlling the state, the Roman Catholic Church was able to pass what we call a Sunday law. This Sunday law required everyone, every Christian, to worship on Sunday. Failure to do that, you will face imprisonment, jail time, your property taken, your house taken, your business taken, your family put in prison, and being killed and being slaughtered, being martyred. Was Jesus black or white? Shane Newton. Was Jesus black or white? Shane Newton. We do not really know whether Jesus was black or white, but it's a topic for another day. I know there's a movement that is out there now talking about the color of Jesus Christ, but well, yeah, okay. He's all right. The Pope is a demigod. Bernard Colley. Jesus is from Israel. His color is what you can find in the Arab world today. Okay, Palestine, you couldn't be far from the truth. Okay, RX, if you want to say some crazy tell them Jesus was Anunnaki. All right, look at Jesus, then look at Anunnaki, and it's not that different. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed to the channel. Help us grow. We want to spread this information. Well, remember, we are not trying to make anyone Christian here. We're just giving information, giving history as things happens. All right, and it is so amazing that the Bible had predicted all the things that are happening. So that is why we are on All Things Podcast, taking this opportunity to share what we're sharing. All right, so the Roman Catholic Church was using the Roman Empire to persecute Christians. So Israel today is using the United States of America to deal with anyone who refuses to bow down to the plans of the Pope, to bow down to the plans of the Jesuits. I told you that Israel is run by the Jews, the Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. This is the powers that is controlling the United States of America. The United States of America is controlled by the Jews, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Illuminati crew. This is the people who are controlling the United States of America. And these Jews, these Illuminati, these Jesuits, they want the state of Israel to be restored to its former glory, so that they can use the state of Israel to manipulate, to control Christians. All right, you know that of all religions, Christianity is the biggest religion. So if you want to control, majority of people in the world are Christians. So if you want to control the world, you need to control Christianity, because majority of people in the world are Christians. All right, so they know that okay, remember these okay, cultists. All right, Shane Newton, what are the odds that of 12 apostle Judas was no, just because Judas betrayed Jesus, it doesn't make him black. I think we can discuss that, whether Jesus was black or what. Okay, Musa Milrace, and they call Muslim extremist. Well, not all Muslims are extremists. Not all Muslims are extremists. Remember, even in Islam, okay, guys, okay, let me do this. Do you know what we call World Council of Churches? World Council of Churches. Blue Root says you dumb and useless. Do you know the World Council of Churches? Albert Jamin, hello. Royal people should read their Bible. Jesus Christ is described in Revelation. Yes, Jesus Christ is described in Revelation. All right. Now, do you know the World Council of Churches? Okay, Bernard Coley says yes, WCC, yes, World Council of Churches. Do you know what is the purpose of the WCC? The purpose of WCC, World Council of Churches, is to bring all religions into one. Is to unite all religions into one. All right. That is the purpose of the World Council of Churches, because in the World Council of Churches, it's uniting all religious bodies. All religious bodies of the world are being united by the World Council of Churches. To not only to unite the Christendom, to unite all religions. Remember, every religion, all religions are part of the World Council of Churches. You talk about the Buddhists, you talk about the Hindus, you talk about all religion, all religious bodies of the world are part of the WCC, World Council of Churches. It's not only Christians. It is not only Christians. Even those who don't believe in Jesus being God, even those who don't believe in Jesus being crucified, dying on the cross, they're part of the World Council of Churches. So anything that is a religion, it is part of the World Christian Churches. World Council of Churches mean to say. So the purpose of the World Council of Churches is to have all religions under one umbrella. All right. And then you have the United Nations, right? You have the United Nations. So it's World Council of Churches and the United Nations. The WCC, World Council of Churches, it is controlling religions, bringing all religions in one umbrella. And the United Nations Its purpose is to bring all nations under one umbrella. So you've got both church and state. Both church and state. The United Nations is the state. World Council of Churches, it's religion, religious bodies. What is the purpose of this organization? The purpose of these organizations, the World Council of Churches, is to unite all religious bodies. Is to unite all religious bodies. And when all religious bodies are united, then all religion will speak with one voice. The purpose is that no religion will be allowed to criticize another religion. No religious body will be allowed to attack whether the doctrine of other religion is bad, or in other words, you're not allowed to say this religion is a bad religion, this religion, come out of it. You are not allowed to do that, because all religious bodies will come together and compromise and agree that don't speak bad about my religion. Don't speak bad about my God. You cannot say Buddha is not God. You cannot say Allah is not God. You cannot say Jesus is not God. So they will come together in unity to say, let's worship God in plural. Just worship God. All right. Don't undermine my God. I won't undermine my God. So all these religious bodies, they will come to the same understanding. And because now all these religious bodies are united, they must have a common day of worship. And that common day of worship will be Sunday. All right. The common day of worship will be Sunday. All right. Sunday. This is where the United States comes in, because the United States controlled by the papacy, the United States controlled by the Jews, the Jesuits, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. It has been given a mandate. The United States has been given a mandate. I told you last week about Project 2025. Please download Project 2025. And I just want to welcome all of you who have just joined us. Welcome to All Things Podcast, where we deal with global events, global matters that are taking place currently. And we are explaining it according to Project 25 manual and prophecy, what the Bible prophesied. We see it being fulfilled today. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't leave without subscribing to the channel. So this is what is happening. The United States is being used by the Jesuit, the Freemason, the Illuminati, the Jews. What is the purpose of the United States? The purpose of the United States is to make sure that we do have a true United Nations. All right? The true United Nations. So the United States must get rid of any state, any nation that is against the plan. Remember, Venezuela was against the Pope. Venezuela rejected the Pope. Iran rejected the Pope. China rejected. Russia rejected. You understand? They're not part of it. So the United States must now eliminate or take over all countries. Darrell Owens, welcome. Chasing the sun, welcome. Gerald, but they drink some first and then you feel better. All right. Welcome you all. So the United States is being used by these people that I've mentioned, the Jesuit, the Freemasons, the Jews, the Illuminati, to get rid of all nations that are not part of the agenda of the Pope. What is the agenda of the Pope? The agenda of the Pope is one world government. The agenda of the Pope is one world religion. That is the agenda. That is the agenda. Iran rejects that agenda. That agenda is pushed by Israel. That agenda of a one world government, one world religion is what Israel is pushing. And Israel is pushing that agenda for the Pope. The United States is pushing this agenda for the Pope. At the end of the day, all power that the United States will have will be given or handed over to the Pope. Remember, the Pope is the only man in the world who is running both a church and a state. The Roman Catholic Church is controlled. The head of the Roman Catholic Church is the Pope. We know that, all right? All of us knows that, all right? All of us knows that the leader of the Roman Catholic Church is the Pope, all right? Not only is the Pope leader of the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope is the leader of the Vatican. What is the Vatican? The Vatican in Rome. The Vatican is both, it's a nation, it's a country. The is the leader of the Vatican, also the leader of the Roman Catholic Church. So the Roman Catholic Church is the only church, is the only religion, or is the only movement in the world which is both a church and a state. And it was so previously. The Roman Empire. So now some people, they don't understand. See, Roman Catholic Church, we explained it yesterday, that Roman Catholic Church, the word Rome, the word Roman is from the country, the state, Rome. Catholic means universal, Roman Catholic Church. So the Roman Catholic Church, Romans, they control the church universally, all right? They control the church universally. So what do you mean Roman Catholic Church controls all churches universally? Samuel, welcome, my brother. We were with you yesterday. Welcome, Samuel. Nomsa, welcome. The Roman Catholic Church controls Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church controlled Christianity. The missionaries that were sent out into the world by the Roman Catholic Church, when they saw Christianity taking over the world, the Romans infiltrated the church and changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday. And all the missionaries and all the people who were sent by the Roman Catholic Church, or all the missionaries, because they now feared the Roman Catholics, when they were preaching, they stopped preaching the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, Saturday. They began to preach Sunday. And that's why all Christianity worships on Sunday. How do you think all Christianity came to worship on Sunday? It's because the Roman Catholic Church did that. All right, let me take your comments. I'm a Jesus freak, not a religious freak. Okay, Robert, Jesus freak, not a religious freak. Listen, you cannot separate Jesus from religion. It is impossible. You cannot separate Jesus from religion, because Jesus has to do with religion, and that religion of Jesus Christ is Christianity. So you cannot separate the two. You cannot only love Jesus and hate Christianity. Are you saying you love Jesus but you hate Christianity? All right, because a Christian, it's a follower of Jesus Christ. A Christian, it's a follower of Jesus Christ. A Christian is somebody who lives like Jesus. You cannot separate Christianity from Jesus. You cannot separate Jesus from Christianity. All right. We are not preaching. We are dealing with history. But this history compels us to deal with scriptures. This history compels us to deal with scriptures. All right. They know as blasphemous. Okay, let me read some few more. Don't have to like it. And Jesus is Baptist. All right. Are you from the Advent Church? Albert Jermaine, are you from the Advent Church? Black man, Christianity is not a religion, it's faith. All right. I will take that. It is both faith. Okay. It is both faith. You correct. I'm not going to quibble with that. You correct. So this is what is happening. So the Roman Catholic Church, it's still in control of Christianity, because what majority of Christians believe is what the Roman Catholic Church wanted them to believe. You understand that? It's what the Roman Catholic Church wanted them to believe, and they believe it to this day. The church was never reformed. The church was never reformed since the infiltration by the Roman Catholic Church. Christianity has never been reformed since infiltration by the Romans. Till today, Christianity is following exactly in the footsteps of the Roman Empire or the Roman Catholic Church. not so green. The Romans changed the day of worship to Sunday because that was the day the pagans worshiped Jupiter and their gods. Exactly, spot on, not so green. Now, if the Roman Empire changed the day of worship from Saturday to Sunday, that was dedicated to the gods of Romans. Why has Christianity not gone back to the true day of worship or to the true biblical day? And it don't matter whether you're a Baptist, Pentecostal, evangelical, it doesn't matter. As long as you claim to be a Christian, as a Christian that you claim to be, why don't you go back to the true day of worship that your God has set apart and made holy? And I think that is a day, that is a debate for another day. But today we're not discussing Sabbath or not Sabbath. We're just giving the background and the history of what happened in the past in order to understand the war that is happening today in Iran. All right, in Iran. The war is going to lead us to the time of the end. The war is the beginning of the time of the end. Albert Jamin, what about the change in the Bible? There is no change in the Bible. Sunday, you'll never find Sunday in the Bible as the day of worship. In fact, to make things simple for you, in the Bible, you only had in the New Testament where they claim the change to have been made. In the New Testament, there are only 8 verses, 8 Bible verses that talks about Sunday or the first day of the week. Only 8 verses in the Bible, and none of the 8 verses in the Bible says Sunday is the new day of worship, or which says the first day is now the new day of worship. None of those verses in the Bible. So the change was not in the Bible. The change was done by the Pope. The change was done by the Emperor Constantine. The change was done by the Roman Catholic Church. All right, Akuma Rakima, hello, I am a Jehovah's Witness, and I think that all other denominations miscontextualize certain aspects of the Bible and some of the stuff God insinuates. All right, Akuma Krima, listen, Christianity as we know it, or denominations, all denominations as we know them, they have some Roman Catholic doctrines or traditions. Remember, Christianity was infiltrated by the Roman Catholic Church, and the Romans baptized their paganism into Christianity. So most of the things Christians believe is just baptized paganism into Christianity. So many Christians, or majority of Christians, what they believe, it's simply Catholicism. It's simply Catholicism. You'll remember in 2015, there was that infamous meeting between evangelicals, Protestants, and all of them. And the Pope Francis addressed them. And Pope Francis was simply saying the protest is over. We are all brothers and sisters. We must all unite, okay? Stop fighting. We are all brothers and sisters. So the Pope was simply saying to all these evangelical, Pentecostals, Methodists, even Jehovah's Witnesses, the Pope was saying to them, stop protesting. Stop protesting. Stop saying you are not the true Christian. Stop saying you don't have the true faith. Stop saying you don't believe. And then Pope said, we are all one. We must unite. And since 2015, the Pope has been working hard to bring all Christians into one umbrella. Now, outside bringing all Christians into one umbrella, you have the WCC, World Council of Churches. The World Council of Churches' goal, it's not to bring Christians together, it's to bring all religious bodies together. All religious bodies together into the same umbrella. That is the purpose. And why would the Pope or the leaders of the World Council of Churches want all religious bodies together to be united? Why? It's because they plan to unite the world. We must have one world government and one world religion. This is the goal. This is the goal. This is where we're going. The war in Iran is the beginning of this new world order. The war in Iran is the beginning of their new world order. To get pagans, okay, not so green, to get pagans to Catholic Christianity, they kept Sunday the pagan day of worship. Yes, Albert Jamin, seems that Matthew 28:19 was not true verse. Matthew 28 is a true verse. Matthew 28:19 is a true verse. It's not a wrong verse. It is a true verse. It is a true verse. Matthew 28:19, it is a true verse. You see, just because the Romans infiltrated the church and introduced paganism to Christianity and gave their pagan things Christian names, it doesn't make Matthew 28:19 wrong. It doesn't make it wrong. It stands, it remains true to this day. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That remains true. So this is what happened. This is what happened, Albert Jamin. So as the Christians were fulfilling Matthew 28:19, taking the gospel in all the world, baptizing them, the Roman Catholics, the Romans saw this go ye therefore as a danger to their empire. They saw the gospel really going into the world. The world was saturated by Christianity, and the Romans saw Christianity as a threat to their kingdom, to their power. And they decided then, we are going to infiltrate Christianity and take control of Christians. And this is where they took over Christianity, because remember, I said it again, that Christianity had no leader. There was no leader of Christians. All right, there was no bishop or any leader of Christianity. Okay, so the Roman Catholics saw an opportunity to be the leader of the Christian church, and that's why they took over Christianity, and the Pope was made the leader of the Christian church at that time. And as the leader of the Christian church, the Pope claimed to have power to change scripture, to have power to change the Bible, even to change the day of worship, even to change even Bible. So this is how we ended up where we are. If you have to scream, okay, I already lost. All right, okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about there. All right, so this is where we are. Now, back to my point. So the Roman Catholic Church was controlling the Roman Empire. And because the church was controlling the state, the church was able to pass laws, religious laws, using the state to punish anyone who did not follow the laws of the church. So what we see today, the United States will lead us, or the United States is preparing the coming back of the Roman Catholic Church into power, because the leader who is to run the world, who is to control the world, is the Pope. You may not know this, but the Pope is being prepared to be the world leader, to be the leader of the nations, and to be the leader of religion. So the Pope's agenda is to become a world leader, a leader of the nations and a leader of religion. So this is where we are. The Pope is going to be the leader of all nations and the leader of all religion. We are going to have a one world government, and we're going to have a one world religion. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, it's going to happen. Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's going to happen. We are going to have a new world order. In this new world order, we're going to have a religious leader and a leader of government, and that leader will be the Pope. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. So the war we're seeing in Israel is a preparation for that. It will lead us to that, exactly that. So the United States is Timothy China. All right, welcome, Sir Robert X. But now Jesus is king. Yeah, Jesus is king. Jesus is king. Remember, Jesus is in heaven. We are on earth. Remember, all this is in preparation for the coming of Jesus Christ. Remember, Jesus said it's going to come back again. But before Jesus comes back again, we must have the Antichrist. We must have the Antichrist. We must have the mark of the beast. Okay? We must have the Antichrist. We must have the mark of the beast. And yesterday we explained what is the mark of the beast, and we explained what is the Antichrist. I believe we have new audience today, because I can see by the number that today we seem to have more numbers than we did yesterday. Please do not leave without subscribing to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, help us grow. Subscribe to the channel so that when we come back next time, you will be notified of our live stream. Don't leave without subscribing to the channel. So I explained yesterday that the Antichrist and the mark of the beast is one and the same thing. Antichrist and mark of the beast is one and the same thing. Coding Blues says you are stupid. All right. The Antichrist and the mark of the beast is one and the same thing. All right. The Antichrist and the mark of the beast, it's one and the same thing. I said yesterday that you need to identify who the beast is. All right? Identify who the beast is, then you will know who the Antichrist is. Okay, and yesterday we proved to you that the beast power is the Roman Catholic Church. All right? The beast power is the Roman Catholic Church, because the Roman Catholic Church is the only church in the world which is both a church and a state. And prophecy said the beast power, it is a church that has a man on as the head, and this man speaks blasphemies, and this man claims to be God. Of all churches, only the Roman Catholic Church has a man on top, and the man in that position claims to be God. You will know. You can Google this. You can search it. Every pope claims to be God. The Pope says, if you have seen me, you have seen God. The Vatican has no state now. Listen, do your research, do your history, background, and come back to me. Come back to me. All right? Come back to me. All right. So Antichrist simply means one in the place of Christ. Antichrist, biblically, it simply means one in the place of Christ, or one making themselves Christ. Antichrist. It does not mean only against Christ, because Antichrist is not somebody who is against God, against Jesus, against Christianity. So if you are looking for an Antichrist who will say, destroy Christianity, destroy the church, destroy Christ, you will never see that Antichrist. Antichrist simply says, I am Christ, I am in the place of Christ. So Antichrist is not against Christianity, it's not against Christ. Antichrist claims to be Christ. Antichrist is somebody claiming to be Christ, claiming to be God, a man making himself God. Of all religions, evangelicals, Pentecostals, Methodists, Baptists, Jehovah's Witnesses, Presbyterians, all denominations, which denominations has a man who claims to be God? You will not find it in the Presbyterian. You will not find it in the Baptist. You will not find it in the Jehovah's Witness. You will not find it in all of the denominations. Only the Roman Catholic Church has a man who claims to be God, and that man is the Pope. All right? And that man is the Pope. You can check it. You can check it. You can check it, and you will come back and say, brother, you right. Brother, you Brad. You right. Albert Jamin didn't it mean one that will claim that he is the new Christ? You can put it that way, Albert. You can put it that way. One claiming to be Christ or one claiming to be the new Christ. It's one and the same thing. It's one and the same thing, my brother. Whether it's the new Christ or the old Christ, as long he claims to be Christ, it don't matter. All right. The one the Jews are waiting for. Exactly, Albert Jermaine, the one the Jews are waiting for. And here's the thing. It's complicated than this. That's why I said Israel, it's not the biblical Israel that we think. And every Christian who is saying it's fine for Israel to do what it's doing because Israel is doing God's work. Many people believe that Israel bombing Iran, Israel is doing God's work. I can tell you now, Israel is not doing God's work. Israel is doing the devil's work. How can God kill innocent people? How can God kill women for no reason at all? Because the war in Iran did not start, there's no reason for that war to happen. And how can a God-fearing nation, how can a God-obeying nation be engaged in a war like they did in Palestine? They attacked and destroyed Gaza, and not only attacked and destroyed Gaza, stealing the land of Palestine. How can that be a holy nation? The commandment says, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie. Don't bear false witness. Don't covet your neighbor's property. But Israel is breaking all 10 commandments. How can Israel be the true nation of God? It is not. How can Israel be the chosen nation? It is not. Yes, during the time of Jesus, or from the Old Testament, Israel was the chosen nation of God. I don't quibble with that. There was a time in which Israel was the chosen nation of God. But today, Israel is not a chosen nation of God. Remember, Israel was given an opportunity to be the voice of God on earth. Israel was given the gospel to preach in all the world. But Israel, when Messiah, when Jesus came on earth, the one whom the gospel pointed to, the comforter, the mighty king, the mighty God, the Messiah, the Christ, when Christ came, Israel rejected Christ. True or false? True or false? Did Israel reject Christ when Christ came to this earth? When Christ was on earth, did the Jews reject Christ? Yes or no? Yes or no? Did Israel reject Christ on earth? Yes or no? Somebody. Did Israel reject Christ? No, it's biblical. It's biblical. In the Bible, did Israel reject Christ? Yes. Chasing the Sun, yes. Mutsuhi Grace, yes. And welcome. Albert Jamin, true brother, they rejected him. Yes, Israel rejected Christ. It was the priest in Israel, the leaders of the church. The priest in Israel was not a place, it was a person, family. Okay, did the descendants of Israel reject Christ? Says Israel was not a place. Okay, we'll play like that. Not so great. Not okay. Did Israel's descendants reject Christ when Christ came to the earth? Yes, they rejected him. It was the priest in Israel. It was the nation of Israel which went to Pilate, to Herod, to all of them, which screamed, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. It was the nation of Israel that put Jesus on the cross because they did not believe in him to be Christ. They believed him to be an impersonator. They believed him to be a mad person. They believed him to be possessed of the devil. They said he claims to be the Son of God. Even when Pilate on the top of the cross of Jesus wrote, "This is the King of the Jews," it was the same Jews who went to Pilate and said, "Don't write, 'This is the King of the Jews.' Write, 'He said he was the King of the Jews.'" Even when the man was dead on the cross, the Israel of that time hated him, killed him, put him on the grave. They put him on the grave. Israel never accepted Jesus. even when Christianity was continuing after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, when the apostles continued with the church, the priests still worked together with the Roman Empire. They worked with the Roman Empire to put Peter in prison, to put James in prison, to put Apostle Paul in prison. Israel never accepted Jesus. To this day, the New Testament closes it ends without Israel acknowledging Jesus as the Son of God, acknowledging Jesus as the Messiah. Nowhere in history you will find the Jews or Israel accepting Jesus as the Lord and Savior. Never. So this Israel of today, which you see over there, you think that is the true Israel of God? And how did God react when Israel rejected Jesus? How did God react? Do you remember how God reacted? He sent the disciples. He said, "Go ye unto all Samaria, go ye unto all Judea, and into the uttermost of the earth, and preach the gospel." In other words, the gospel, now the preaching of the gospel was now taken from Israel. Now God says, "Go ye therefore make disciples in all the world." In other words, you will now find the disciples of God, the disciples of Jesus all over the world, not in Israel. Okay? Not in Israel. Not in Israel. So Israel, is Benjamin Netanyahu a Christian? They are not Christians. The Jews are not Christians. They believe in Judaism. There is Judaism in Israel. There's no Christianity in Israel. All right, let me take your comments. Okay, let me take your comment. The Jews are smartest and blessed people. Well, you can say that they're smartest and chasing the sun. The Pope claimed he can heal and take away your sins. Anyone following them, they also worship the devil and think is the right God. All right. Okay, all right. Subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. Don't leave without subscribing. Help us grow, help us reach many people, All Things Podcast, you are allowed to view your views. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, please write your opinion there. Comment with what you believe. If you think I'm wrong, say you are wrong, brother, and state your facts. Everyone is allowed to comment. Everyone is allowed to talk their truth. Everyone is allowed. You are all allowed to comment. You are all allowed to agree or disagree. We're not going to fight you. This is not a fighting channel. Thank you, Albert Jamin, for subscribing. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. All right. Who are the Jews? Listen, okay, let me do this. So we know history tells us that the Jews were displaced. Okay, so the nation of Israel was founded. I think it from 1947 or 1948. This is where the state of Israel was established. It did not exist. It was established not long ago. It did not exist. But now it exists. So who founded? Who is the founder of the state of Israel? The current state of Israel, because it was founded, I think 1947 or something like that. It's not even that old. All right? And it is founded so that it can push a certain agenda. And that agenda has begun with the stoning, with the war, the attacks on Iran. So the attack on Iran is a strategic attack which will lead us to a world war. You've heard them talking about a World War III. This will lead us to a World War III. And I'm afraid that a lot of us, we are looking at this war in isolation. You see, we don't have to take the war in isolation to what it has been prophesied. Let me again The land was fought over for 3,000 years. Balfour Declaration. I'm happy. I'm happy, see it. I'm happy we got people with understanding. We have people with knowledge. All right. All right. All right. Samuel Nomaso. What is the difference between the Anglican Church and the Roman Catholic Church? All right. We, the people of the world, need to stop this. Nuclear Armageddon. Yes, yes, Albert Jamin. Those in Israel are not real Jews. They are from Poland, Ukraine. They are Ashkenaz. If I'm not wrong, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. They are not original. They are not original. Because if they were original, if they're original Jews, if they're original Israel, they need to tell you which tribe of Israel they're coming from. Because you know, Israel had 12 tribes. So they claim to be Israelites, but they cannot tell you from which tribe of Israel they're from. Even Netanyahu doesn't claim to be of any tribe. They're just Jews. How can you be? Because Israelites, true Israelites, they knew which tribes they're from. But the Jews in Israel today, they don't even claim to be of any tribe, whether Benjamin, Levi, Judah, they don't claim because they don't even know. You understand that? Why DNA test is not allowed in Israel? It is not allowed in Israel because it will reveal the origin of those who are claiming to be Jews. That's why DNA is not allowed. It will reveal the truth. It will link them. It will link them with the people of Ukraine or whatever nations that they're coming from. Netanyahu is not his first name. Exactly, we know that. We know that. The true Israelites are black. Yes, many people chasing the sun believe that the true Israelites are black. The entire planet is multi. Oh, okay. Holy Spirit hour. Holy Spirit hour. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Yes, yes, yes. We believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus is Lord. He died. He died and rose again. And now he is in heaven in the most holy place interceding on our behalf, doing the final work. We believe in Jesus. Jesus is Lord. Israel don't believe in Jesus. The Roman Catholic Church don't believe in Jesus. Israel don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in Jesus. The Romans exiled the Jews. The Jews went to southern Italy and married Italian women who converted, but they were Jews in Rome. Of course, of course. So if you know history, you'll discover what my brothers and sisters are saying there. What my brothers are saying there. So what is the importance of understanding that the Israel we see today, the Roman Catholics believe in Jesus? Okay. If you say the Roman Catholics believe in Jesus, do they preach Jesus? What do the Roman Catholic Church preach? Do they preach Jesus? What do the Roman Catholic Church preach Jesus? Do you have any sermon by the Roman Catholic priest preach Jesus? Have you heard the Pope say in the name of Jesus? Preach about Jesus instead about SDA religion. Well, we are not talking SDA. We're not talking SDA. We are talking Bible. We're talking Bible and history. We are not talking SDA here. We are not talking Presbyterian here. We're not talking Baptist here. We're not talking Presbyterian here. We're talking Bible and history. We are not talking about any denomination here. We don't even want to talk about any denomination here. We are not promoting any denomination here. We're not promoting Pentecostal. We're not promoting evangelicals. We're not promoting any denomination. We're talking Bible. We're talking Jesus. We're talking God without any denominations. We are not denominational in this. This is All Things Podcast. If this podcast was denominational, it was going to be a problem. It is not denominational. That's why we're able to look at what this denomination has done. We're focusing on the Roman Catholic Church. as a denomination and look at it. What are they following the Bible? And they're not following the Bible. Do they claim to be Christians? Yes, they claim to be Christians, but are they biblical? They're not biblical. All right? They're not biblical. So we are not it's not a denominational podcast. It's all things podcast. We talk about all denomination. We talk about Islam, flip side of Catholicism. We talk about all, Matthew Nelson says Islam, flip side of Catholicism. All right. Let me make it clear, my people, my friends. Let me make it clear to all 95 of you watching now currently. This podcast does not belong to any church. All right? It does not belong to any denomination. All right? We speak truth as it is. This is not a church program. All right? All Things Podcast, we are not a church program. We are a podcast that looks at current events according to the Bible. So, Bible. That's why we're saying to you, whether you believe in the Bible or you don't believe in the Bible, you are welcome. It doesn't matter what you believe. You believe in the Bible or don't believe in the Bible, it doesn't matter. We are going to look at the Bible and see what the Bible says and show you. If you are convicted, praise God. If you are not convicted, pray. It's fine. We don't want to make anybody a Christian, but our purpose is to show you what the Bible said and look at what is happening. I told you the day that we are to have 7 kings according to prophecy. And I told you that the first kingdom was the kingdom of Babylon. The second kingdom, the Medes and the Persians. The third kingdom, the kingdom of the Greece Empire, led by Alexander the Great. The fourth kingdom was the Roman Empire. The fifth kingdom, it was the Roman Empire, now having infiltrated the church, called the papacy or the papal power. So the Roman kingdom has 2 stages. It's pagan Rome, Rome without Christianity. And then the second stage of Roman kingdom, it's now when Rome has infiltrated the church, and now we have the Roman Catholic Church, the papal power, the papal power, the papal power. All right. All right. So this is what we are all about here. King James was a black Moor, had the Bible translated. Yeah, King James did a good work translating the Bible. Albert Jimin, Amin, Matthew Nelson, you are right, brother. Motsihi Grace, I was reading the book of Daniel yesterday and I learned a lot. Definitely read the book of Daniel. Daniel 7, 1 to 7. Daniel chapter 7, verse 1 to 8. It tells you about the world empires, world kingdoms, okay? And Daniel 8 continues, it tells you world kingdoms, and it even gives you their names. And when you go to history, you will discover that Babylon ruled the entire world, the then world. And you go to history, you'll find that the Medes and the Persians took over Babylon, and Greece took over the Medes and the Persians, and the Roman Empire took over Greece. You'll find that in history. All right, you'll find that in history, and you'll find that the Roman Empire had 2 stages in history. You had the Roman Empire as pagan Rome. When they were busy with paganism, they did not claim to believe in God. But when Christianity was taking over the whole world, the Roman Empire changed from paganism into papacy. They changed from paganism and they claimed to be Christians. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Give me a minute. I'm coming back. Yeah, came back. I needed to sneeze. I needed to sneeze. Are you a born-again Christian? A born-again Christian? Not so green. Jupiter, the planet, protects Earth from asteroids, context, space, debris. So Romans were close enough. All right. All right. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Chasing the sun. That's why I do not celebrate any pagan holiday. Of course, Good Friday, it's a pagan holiday. And soon people will be celebrating Good Friday. Where does Good Friday come from? It's a Roman Catholic's creation. Good Friday, it's a Roman Catholic's creation. Catholicism was to lead people away from the true loving Savior Jesus Christ, our King, the only King of Kings. Albert Jamin, 100%, 100%. Catholicism was designed to do exactly that. Robert, for unless you believe like a little one, you will not see the Lord. Exactly. Exactly. Guys, you nailing it there. Albert, you are nailing it. Robert, you are nailing it. Exactly that. Chasing the sun, you nailing it. You nailing it. You nailing it. Robert again says, for unless you believe like a little one, you will not see the glory of God. You are nailing it. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. And thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for subscribing to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button and help the channel to grow. Help the channel to grow. Good Friday, it's Roman Catholic Church's creation. Now, how? You know, that's why they're able to move it from April. This year it's on April. The following year it's on March. If Good Friday was indeed the celebration of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, shouldn't it be on the same day, same month? Why does Good Friday keep on changing? Today it's on the 10th of April. Next year it's on the 6th, or it's on the 14th or 20th of March. Why does it keep changing if it is biblical? It's because it's a Roman Catholic creation. The Roman Catholic Church decides when Good Friday is going to be. They decide that. It is not you, Christians. It is not you. It is the Roman Catholic Church's creation, and the Roman Catholic Church controls it. All these Christians' holidays, you think 25 December, you think Jesus was born 25 December? No! Roman Catholic Church creation. It's paganism. Paganism. So this is how we show you that the Roman Catholic Church infiltrated the church and baptized all pagan holidays, baptized pagan gods, and baptized them and gave them Christian names. This is what we're dealing with here. This is what we're dealing with here. This is what we're dealing with here. All right, Peter Blackburn, we all know what you are talking about. Catholicism. Okay, thank you, Peter Blackman. If you know, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not the only one who knows. You see, a lot of us knows this thing. So, All Things Podcast, let's use this podcast to get the information out there. Let's use this podcast and get the information one day, because something is coming. Something big is coming. Ron Lake, the Romans worship the sun, not the Son of God. Woo! Yo, Ron Lake, that's a punchline. The Romans worship the sun, not the Son of God. Exactly. They don't worship the Son of God. They worship the Son, S-U-N, not S-O-N. Perfect, Ron Lake. Perfect, Ron Lake, chasing the sun. Even the New Year's, exactly. The New Year's, all of those things, it's Roman Catholics doing. Albert Jamin, all the days of the week are names according to the false gods that the Romans used to worship. And when you study the book of Daniel, you understand when you talk about the status. Exactly. This is what a lot of people claiming to be Christians don't know. And I tell you, globally, more than 6 billion people, more than 7 billion people associate themselves with Christianity. Globally, they associate themselves with Christianity, and the devil, the Jesuit, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Jews will use Christianity to bring about a world order. They will use Christianity, they will use God to bring about a world order. But the God they will be using, it is not the God of the Bible. The God they are using, they're talking about, it is the devil himself. It is the devil himself. It is the devil himself. All right. It is the devil himself. It is the devil himself. So I told you already that what the United States is doing, what the United States is doing today, it is the beginning of the times of the end. What the United States is doing, it is the beginning of the time of the end. Remember, let's clarify something. When we talk about the Roman Catholic Church, we are not talking about the individuals in the Roman Catholic Church. We are talking about the Roman Catholic Church system. The Roman Catholic Church system is the system of the devil. The Roman Catholic Church system is the system of the devil because it's a pagan system. It's a pagan worship system. And those members of the Roman Catholic Church, they go to the Roman Catholic Church thinking they are worshiping the true God, thinking God requires them to baptize infants, thinking God requires them to do what they're doing, unknown unto them. But a time has come where people must now speak and expose all lies, and expose lies and preach the truth. This is why we are here. All Things Podcast. This is why we are here. To open the eyes of people. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, it doesn't matter. Whether you believe the Bible or you don't believe the Bible, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna give you truth as it is. Do what you do with the information. We are not trying to convert you or to convince you to be a Christian. No, no, no. This is not the purpose of the podcast. That is why if you are a Roman Catholic Church, you can tell us your view. You are Presbyterian, tell us your view. You are engaging in a conversation. Let's talk. The war is leading us to the time of the end. The war in Iran is leading us to the time of the end. The Romans were cool. They made roads. Hey. Oh, it says the Romans were cool. Listen, the Romans were never cool, because the Romans, if they were cool, the Romans, they want to control your conscience. The Romans, they want to control your conscience. That is never cool. It is never okay for anyone to control your conscience. And this is what the Romans sought to do. And this is what the Romans were doing. And yesterday I made a promise that I was going to show you that in the Bible, a month has 30 days. I made a commitment that I'm going to prove today that a month in the Bible has 30 days. The 31 days, the 28 days, 29 days a month, that is a Roman Catholic's doing. Biblically, a month has 30 days. A month has 30 days. Can we do that? Can I show you that? Or you want us to continue talking? Can I show you that from the Bible? A month has 30 days. And a year has 360 days. Can we show that from the Bible? All this is Jewish nation, or not Jewish nation, Jewish nation. All the 365 days is Roman Catholic, is Catholicism. All these 31 days a month is Catholicism. The month of February has 28 days or 29 days. How can a month this year has 28 days, next year 29 days? It's all Roman Catholicism. It's because the calendar is programmed or prepared according to the custom and traditions of Romans. That's why this year it's 28 days, 29 days, 31, 30 days. It's based on the Roman Catholicism. Okay, let me show you. Ron Lake says I should show you. All right, I should show you from the Bible. Remember, you don't need to believe in the Bible. Let's take what it says. Let's see what it says and see whether it is true or not. We are not reading the Bible because we want you to believe in the Bible, but we want to show you because the Catholicism claims to be following the Bible. So we're taking the very same book which Catholicism claims to be following and expose Catholicism. All right, now let me show you. Let me show you from the Bible. Let me show you from the Bible. All right, and I don't know whether you're gonna be able to to follow. All right. Let me show you from the Bible. Now, when you go, we'll use the flood. We'll use the flood story. When you go to the Bible, all right, where when you go to the Bible, in Genesis, we're going to use the story of the flood. Now, in Genesis, we're going to use the story of the flood. Genesis 7:11. Genesis 7:11. All right. Genesis 7:11. This is what it says. In Genesis 7:11, it says, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month. So the flood, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains. So the flood started in the second month of the year. The flood started in the second month of the year, in the 17th day of the second month of the year. All right. So we have a time frame. Now, Genesis 7:24, this is what it says. Genesis 7:24, it says, the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. So the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. So the waters was upon the earth for 150 days. All right. Okay, let's continue. So the waters was on the earth for 150 days. Now let's continue. 150 days. Now let's read Genesis 8 verse 3 and 4. It says in Genesis 8, 3 and 4, and the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. So we know that the water was on earth for 150 days. And it says in verse 4, and the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains. So we know the flood started on the 17th day of the second month, and it ended on the 17th day of the 7th month. All right, of the 7th month. So it started the 17th of the second month, and the flood ended on the 17th day of the 7th month. Okay, so we have 5 months in total. Now to calculate, we're gonna say 150 days divide by 5 months, because the flood lasted for 5 months. 150, do your math. 150 days divide by 5. 150 days divide by 5 months. What is the answer? We know the flood was upon the earth for 5 months, according to the Bible. The flood was on earth for 5 months, all right? 5 months. And it rained for 150 days. Do the math. Somebody do the math for us. 150 divided by 5. The flood was upon the earth for 150 days. The waters were on earth for 150 days. And the Bible says it was from the 2nd month to the 7th month. Somebody do the math. 150 divided by 5. 150 days divided by 5 months. Somebody please do the math. Somebody do the math for us. I know the answer. I know the answer. 40 days of rain took about 150 days to dry up exactly. The 7th month, July, is named after Julius Caesar. Hail. All right, Albert says it's 15. No, Albert, it can't be 15. Albert, it can be 15. 150 divided by 5. 150 divided by 5. 150 divided by 5 is 5 months exactly. Is exactly Ron Lake. Exactly Ron Lake. 5 months is exactly 150 days. 5 months, it equals to 150 days. So the Bible says the waters of the flood prevailed for 150 days. And it begins on the 17th day of the second month. So 17th day of the second month to the 17th day of the seventh month. That equals to 5 months, and that equals to 150 days. So if the waters were on the earth for 150 days, then it's 150 divided by 5 months. So each month had 30 days. So biblically, a month has 30 days. So we have 31 days, we have 28 days. That is Catholicism. It's not biblical. It is not biblical. A month in the Bible, it has, yes, not so green. Thank you so much. They did the math. They did the math. So you see that when the Roman Catholic Church infiltrated Christianity, not only did they change the day of worship, but they changed the entire calendar. They changed the entire calendar. They changed the entire calendar. So you see now, biblically, a month has 30 days. Robert, like you said, they fought one another over Bible, killed each other, and only that worked out was English translation. Power to the Romans. You say power to the Romans. When you say power to the Romans, you're simply saying power to the devil, because the Romans were inspired by the Romans were used by the devil. All right. So when you say power to the Romans, you're simply saying power to the devil. You're simply saying power to the devil. So this is what we're trying to show. And what the Romans did in the past, the Romans will do it again, chasing the sun. Say to the devil, yeah. Not so green. Everyone was pagan. Okay. Everyone was pagan except for Israel. Everyone was pagan except for Israel. In the Old Testament, all nations were into paganism. That's why Israel was the chosen people to go and teach all nations about God, the Creator. But Israel did not do that. What Israel did, they looked down on other nations. They did not allow the priest during the days of Jesus, during the times of Jesus. The priests were not allowing anyone who was not a Jew or anyone who was not an Israelite to enter in their synagogues, in their churches. They believed that as long as you are not an Israelite, you were unclean. Those were the Jews, okay? So the Jews, instead of spreading the gospel in all the world, they limited the gospel to themselves. You were not allowed to enter the synagogue. The priest, the Jews, they will not even touch a Gentile because they believe that should they touch a Gentile, they will become unclean. You understand? So the Jews did not do what God had called them to do, did not become the mouthpiece that God wanted them to be. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. If you have just joined us, don't leave without subscribing to the channel. Don't leave without subscribing to the channel. So the Jews in the Bible times, they limited the gospel to themselves. That's why when Jesus came, the Jews did not receive him. The Jews rejected Jesus because Jesus was now inviting everyone to the gospel. And the Jews said, no. How can you invite sinners? How can you invite Gentiles? How can you allow Gentiles to hear this good news? And that's when they rejected Jesus. They persecuted him. And that's why I'm saying to you, the Israel of today is not a biblical Israel. Even the biblical Israel rejected Jesus. Even the biblical Israel did not believe in Jesus. Jesus told them that their city will be attacked and destroyed. Did they believe him? They did not believe him. In AD 70, the Roman Empire came and besieged Jerusalem. Many people were killed. The Jews that you're talking about who did not believe in Jesus remained in the city. They began to even eat their own children. They began to feed themselves through their babies. They ate their babies. They cooked their babies and ate their own children in AD 70. Look at history. History tells you that all Christians had fled Jerusalem. There was no Christian in Jerusalem by AD 70. All Christians were scattered all over the world. By AD 70, no Christian was in Jerusalem. No Christian was in Jerusalem. No Christian was in Jerusalem in AD 70. Look at history. History tells Robert, Jesus walked into their faulty house and told them they are faulty. No, you have a way of putting it. You have a way of putting it, Robert. Jesus walked into their faulty house and told them their faulty house was kicked their crap around. Sure, they got made enough to kill him. Definitely. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what exactly happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You are very correct. You are very correct. So this is the pattern. This is the pattern I want you to know. This is the pattern I want you to get. This is the pattern I want you to understand. That what the Romans did in infiltrating the church, it's not over. They will continue to do it again, globally, once again. So the Roman Empire is coming back, part 2. The Roman Empire is coming back, part 2. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, it's going to come. Chasing the sun, it's going to come. Not so green. What God was in the world before the Jews invented their Jewish God. You see, you need to understand that in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, God placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and God, from creation, God has always been God. There was no other God from creation. God has always been God. It is when people rejected God and began idol worship. Okay? God has always been God. But people rejected God and went for idol worship, went for idolatry. But God has always been there. All right? God did not become new. All right? So among the people who were alive at that time, who had the knowledge of God, God chose the Jews to faith. In fact, he chose Abraham. He chose Abraham to be his mouthpiece. So Abraham knew the truth, right? But now God says, Abraham, I want to choose you and your descendants to be my mouthpiece to spread the gospel. That's how it came about. God has always been God. God has always been there. All right. All right. Well, subscribe to the channel. The war has just begun. Trump was simply saying yesterday that Cuba may be next. He wants regime change in Cuba. Trump wants regime change in Cuba, and it's going to happen. So if you don't believe what I'm telling you, well, just keep coming. Keep watching what is happening in Israel. Keep watching what is happening in Iran, and you will see what this regime change is about to do. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your contribution. It was a wonderful day. We've been going on for 1 hour, 30 minutes. It's time for me to rest. Thank you all for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet subscribed, don't leave without subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. Support the channel. Let me take your views before I close. I'm now taking your views before I close. If you don't agree with what, please comment there. I'm going to read your comments. I'm going to read your view into the record. Remember, All Things Podcast, we believe in freedom of choice, freedom of speech. Say whatever you want to say. I'm going to be reading your comments into the records at this point. I'm about to close. I am closing. Say whatever you want to say. Say whatever you want to say. I'll read it into the record. Robert says, written Jews first and Greeks as well, meaning is we're supposed to teach them. Amen. Christ is king. Okay, Christ is king. Christ is king, Robert. Albert Jamin says, in the Bible, there is a prophecy about Elam that I think is Iran. All right. Robert says, joy, brothers. All right. Chasing the sun says, destroyers. There's a prophecy in the Bible that talks about Iran. All right. Talk to me. Say your comment. Do you see that the war, it's leading us to the time of the end? The war in Iran is the beginning of the time of the end. It is the beginning of the time of the end. The world is coming to an end. Jesus is coming back. Babylon was the first kingdom. The Medes and the Persians were the second kingdom. Greece was the third kingdom. The Roman Empire was the fourth kingdom. Papal Rome was the fifth kingdom. The United States is kingdom number 6. After the United States, it will be the United Nations, in which time we are going to have the Pope as the global leader, the leader of both church and state. And after the Pope has been made the leader of church and state, we're going to have a Sunday national law beginning in America. Then it will move globally. The United States will have a Sunday national law. The United States will force everyone to worship on Sunday in the United States. And then it will move to all the world. It will move to all religion. It will move to all countries, all regions of the world. And after everyone is forced to worship on Sunday, that will lead us to what we call the mark of the beast, the Antichrist kingdom. That will lead us to the Antichrist kingdom, the mark of the beast, because the mark of the beast is Sunday worship by law. The mark of the beast is Sunday worship by law. It happened in the past, done by the Roman Catholic Church. It will repeat. History repeats itself. So what the Roman Catholic Church did from 538 AD to 1798, what the Roman Catholic did, it will repeat it again. It's going to come back. And once we have the mark of the beast, the Sunday law, what's going to happen? Those who refused to receive the mark of the beast, those who refuse the Sunday law will be wiped out of the system first. Remember, we are having a global shift from hard copies to digital environment. You're gonna have digital ID, digital money, digital banking system, digital everything. So those who refuse to be part of the mark of the beast system, those who refused the Antichrist system, will be blocked out or locked out of the digital world. And because you've been locked out of the digital world, because you refused the mark of the beast, because you rejected the Antichrist power, you will not be able to buy or sell. Because for you to buy or sell, you need the digital ID. You need the digital money. Now, since you have been locked out of the digital system because you refuse to bow down to the beast, you'll not be able to sell, you'll not be able to buy. This is what the war is all about. This is what the war is all about. This is what the war is all about. Chasing the sun. If you refuse the mark of the beast, you will be kicked out of the system. This is where the great war begins. This is where the great war is all about. It's about that. It's about control. This is why one world religion is coming. The new world order, it's about one religion, one day of worship. Today, Islam uses Friday as their day of worship. Other religions, they don't actually have a day. Any day is a day. Other religions, they don't have a day of worship, okay? Christians, they worship on Sunday. Some Christians worship on the Sabbath day. Give me a moment. I'm coming back now. It's all about the mark of the beast. It's all about the mark of the beast. Thank you for your patience. It's all about the mark of the beast. It's all about the mark of the beast. So those who reject the beast system, you will not be able to buy, you'll not be able to sell, you'll not be able to keep your house, you'll not be able to keep your car, you'll not be able to participate in the economy. How are you going to pay for electricity? How are you going to pay for water? How are you going to pay for all your needs? So this is why it says he will force both small and great, free and bond, women, men, children to receive the mark of the beast. So all the world will be forced to worship on Sunday. Failure to worship on Sunday, you will be locked out of the beast system. The digital system is the system of the beast to be able to control everyone. I will die for the creator. Chasing the Sun says, I will die for the creator of all things. First, I refuse to worship the devil. Albert Jamin says, that's why we have to pray to have discernment from the Spirit of God, the Most High, to escape from the false teaching and from frog spirit that will spread in the later days. Quoting Revelation there. This is what the war is all about. It's a preparation for the times of the end. The mark of the beast system. I told you last week that if you follow the World Economic Forum, Davos, all this, they tell you plain that we want to have a national Sunday law in London, in UK or Australia. They're talking about a Sunday law which will make people, they say people work hard. Some, they don't even rest, but we're going to force people to rest on Sunday. So as they force you to rest on Sunday, if you refuse to rest on Sunday, you can kiss your house goodbye. You can kiss your car goodbye. You can kiss your work goodbye. You can kiss anything that you own goodbye. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you are part of the beast system. And the beast system, the mark of the beast is Sunday. Sunday worship by law. Today, people worship on Sunday because Sunday worship has been enacted by law. It is not yet the mark of the beast. It is not yet the mark of the beast. But as soon as we have a Sunday law, then it becomes the mark of the beast. And if you worship on Sunday, then you are receiving the mark of the beast. If you reject Sunday, then the beast will come for you. The beast will come for you. This is what Trump is doing. This is what the United States is doing. It starts with nations. All nations who reject the mark of the beast currently are being dealt with. Iran rejected it. Iran is being dealt with. Venezuela rejected the Pope. Venezuela was dealt with. China, Russia, North Korea has been rejecting the Pope's agenda. They will first deal with all nations, the leaders of nations who reject the Pope's agenda. When they've conquered the leaders and the nations, then it will come to us individuals in those nations. It will come to us individuals in those nations. And therefore, Be ready for the times ahead. It's going to be problematic. It's going to be dangerous. Whether you believe in the Bible or you don't believe in the Bible, it will affect you. Whether you believe or don't believe, it's going to come to you. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect me in all nations, in all countries. It's going to affect us. God gave us a choice. Yes, yes, yes. Albert says that's why we have to pray. Chasing the sun, I don't care about the worldly thing. I care about my soul more. Chasing the sun, God gave us the choice. I choose my creator. Albert Jamin, the mark is not only Sunday. It might be our DNA degradation. Listen, they will use, remember, they will use health to create a crisis. Yes, that's why the food we're eating is being poisoned. The food we're eating is being poisoned. So they will use the health system to control us. They will use all systems to control us. They will use all systems to control us. All right? They will use all systems to control us. All systems will be used to control us. These people don't care. These people don't care. They will have a new world order by any means. If people should die for them to have a new order, they will kill. They don't care. They will do whatever it takes to destroy, to have their new world order. And anybody who stands against the new world order will be destroyed. This is what it's all about. All right, tomorrow we'll talk about what the mark of the beast is not. Tomorrow we'll talk about what the mark of the beast is not. What the mark of the beast is not. That is our topic for tomorrow. What the mark of the beast is not. Because I can see here that some of us, we are interested in the mark of the beast. Some of us, we know it. Some of us, we don't know it. Some of us, we know about it, but we don't know exactly what is the mark of the beast. Join us tomorrow at All Things Podcast as we look at what the mark of the beast is not. All right, chasing. Okay, I have James Siom says, Pastor, say, are you sure this is the gospel of Christ? I'm just asking a question. This is the gospel of Christ. This is the gospel of Christ. Because what we're talking about, remember, the mark of the beast is in the Bible. It is the Bible that talks about the mark of the beast, okay? And it tells you who the beast is. It's in the Bible. Remember, the mark of the beast, it's not coming outside the Bible. The mark of the beast is the concept. It's a biblical concept. It is Jesus who gave the mark of the beast message to John in the book of Revelation. So the mark of the beast is the gospel of Christ. Jesus wants Christians to know and understand 666, to know and understand the mark of the beast. So the mark of the beast, James, it is the gospel. It is the gospel of Christ. If you're a Christian and you don't want anything to do with the mark of the beast, then you are an ignorant Christian, because the mark of the beast, it is, when you read the book of Revelation, it says, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, which he gave to his servants, the angels. And you understand? So the book of Revelation is Jesus revealing the end time events. Is Jesus revealing the future, sir. So the mark of the beast, 666, it's in the Bible. It is part of the gospel. It is the gospel of Jesus Christ. All right. The one who gave the book of Revelation, it is not an angel. It was Jesus Christ himself who gave it to John. Jesus Christ himself gave it to John. So yes, the mark of the beast is the gospel, my brother. It is the gospel, my brother. It is the gospel. Subscribe before we leave. Subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, we'll talk about what is not the mark of the beast. What is not the mark of the beast? Subscribe to the channel before you leave. Don't leave without subscribing. Take care of yourself. Pray for your family. Let's meet again tomorrow as we dissect, as we talk about the global events. Thank you from Orlando. Thank you from New York. Thank you from Africa. Thank you from Australia. This is a global platform. I see here we had people from New York. We had people from Brazil. We had people from India. We have people from all over the world. Thank you for tuning in. Please Subscribe, my global family. Subscribe to the channel. Help us grow. We moved from 200 to 300. Thank you all. Thank you all. Ron Lake says from Tulsa. Thank you all, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing us, for spending almost 2 hours with us. Let me thank Albert Jamin. Thank you so much. You've been with us ever since we began. Ron Lake, thank you so much. You have been with us ever since we began. Chasing the Sun, thank you so much. You've been with us and participating ever since we began. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Not So Green, I'm not sure if you're still here. Thank you so much. You've been part of the show ever since we began. Not So Green. Thank you, B Foster. Thank you for tuning in. Robert, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All of you, I cannot name you one by one, but I see you and I appreciate your presence on this podcast. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you on the next one. See you on the next one. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.